Good evening, I'm Rahman Johnson, and this is the news at 5. Now, I'm holding in my hand a report that was released from the TPD. It's a look at the timeline of the case and what happened hour by hour. Here's what we know so far. And Rayford, tell us, why is this issue so important right now? Now, getting the blood pumping is essential to good cardiovascular health. In fact, doctors say when you get that heart rate up, your chance of having heart disease goes down. In here, this little hole that I've just dug out to put my face in could be the difference between living and dying. That's serious. And someone had to stay in there for over an hour. How does this new form in the laws that the executive branch put in place, how does that affect us as citizens in the country right now? It's an honor to sit down with Judge Garner. She is just a dynamic woman. She was appointed to be judge in 2009 and then elected in 2012 with 57% of the vote. First African American, first woman, only presiding judge in Gadsden County, and she continues to work hard, and she's from a legacy. Her dad was an elected official in Gadsden County years ago.
What an inspiration.
Yeah, she really was. Good to be with you.
Great interview, by the way.
Thank you. Thanks, Jade. Casanova Nurse, our chief meteorologist, is joining us right now to take a look. So we asked you on our Facebook page, what do you think about road rage? Is it ever worth it? Here's one of your responses. Amy says, no, I do not think so. She said, I don't think I would. I'd be too scared. 6 people who were injured when the penthouse deck at the Seminole Grand Apartments collapsed in 2012. They're now suing the apartment complex. Attorneys for the victim. One of the trucks you'll see tonight, and you'll hear the noise behind me because the show has just gotten underway, but I stepped out so I could bring you behind the scenes. This is just one of the vans they use. Look at this, just completely ripped apart. And she says that's only the beginning. Local homeless activist Renee Miller had heard complaints from local homeless men and women alleging abuses of power at the shelter. It's a local residential facility for the homeless.
It just didn't match up with experiences that I had when I went to the shelter and had interactions with staff.
Miller took matters into her own hands. She put on a red wig and went undercover to see if what they were saying was true.
The shelter staff opened the door and looked at her and said, "You're past curfew, so you're not staying." Didn't let her in, and I thought, oh no, he's not going to let me stay. And then he said, you come with me.
According to Miller, the staff member then allegedly propositioned her and invited her home with him.
It's going to be much better for you if you just come home with me.
By the end of the night, she says he came to check in on her 4 times, reminding her not to discuss the arrangement and to be ready when his shift ended. A former shelter resident says that things like this are not uncommon, but no one wants to speak up.
They're afraid people are going to treat them differently once they check in at night.
When City Commissioner Andrew Gillum got wind of the allegations, he immediately posted a statement on his Facebook page and called for an investigation with the city manager's office.
When I read the very, very unfortunate account of what Renee experienced in this situation, it reaches at all of our heartstrings.
Commissioner Gillum worked with the Leon County Sheriff's Office to ensure that there were officers on site for the entire weekend and to be on the lookout and take statements if needed. For now, the accused employee has been placed on administrative leave.
I don't want their money. I also don't want them to be defunded or unsupported.
Miller said the reason that she did this is so in some small way that she could help the homeless of Tallahassee. Now, I'm here live with Mel Eby. He's the agency executive director or agency director of the homeless shelter. Tell me, hearing these allegations and knowing how hard you've worked for the past 25 years, number one, how does it make you feel? Tonight, according to ESPN.com, Major League Baseball could suspend some top-tier players, including one of the highest paid in the game. Alex Rodriguez, Ryan Baum, and 20 others may be forced to sit out for up to 100 games based on the testimony of Anthony Bosch from the Biogenesis Clinic in Miami.
Well, it's clear that Biogenesis, like a lot of anti-aging clinics, was selling an awful lot of HGH.
Join me for the latest on Bounce News at 7. Those voter rolls that they have been talking about purging, there have been Justice Department questions and back and forth about it. Who is it going to benefit now that the brakes have been put on purging those rolls? It would unfairly hit African Americans, Latinos, people who are economically disadvantaged. Doesn't that mean advantage Christ in this? Will we see some changes in the House or the Senate as it relates to the makeup?
As it relates to the makeup, the changes are to be seen. With regards,
give me something. Give me something. Will
with
the Democrats
regards to
pick up
Perry
anything?
Thurston,
Men of distinction from East Gadsden High School stopped by the studio, completely a surprise. Abby was in on it, and they came to give me this plaque and wish me happy holidays. Those guys from East Gadsden, the Men of Distinction, took a tour of the studio. I am so appreciative of them for coming by, and I almost, I'm a big waterworks. So the guy full of tears. I almost cried, but I was appreciative. And if you look closely there, you'll notice that I don't have on any shoes. I have on my Speedo flip-flops.
I have to say, the reason why they came by and gave you the plaque is because you went to the school and you mentored these young men.
Yeah, yeah. I don't talk about it, but they, I mean, I talked to you about it, but it was just a great honor to spend time with them, and a lot of them had some great questions, not just about their careers, but about life. Some of them, I grew up in a single-parent household, so some of them didn't even have, fathers, and they said, hey, thanks for taking the time to come spend time with us. So I'm not going to get misty about it because it's touching me, but it was good to hang out with the guys.
Yeah.
Glad they came by.
For sure.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, you're trying to get me, and I'm not going to let you do that.
I think I saw a tear. I think I saw one.
No more laughing. Now my button's gone. I'm about to cry. It's enough. Show's done for the night.
Thanks for joining us today at 11.
We'll see you tomorrow. Have a good night. Thank you.